3 years ago, on the 16th of July 2021, I made this channel and uploaded my first video. It was an Intamin Blitz concept, and when it got 50 views, I was ecstatic and I wanted to keep going. Over the next year or so, I kept uploading more content on console, with loads of different coasters, park series, and then it all changed when I got a PC. The videos got more high quality, the parks got larger and more detailed, the coasters were more crazy and realistic, and my channel just grew and grew. In just over 3 years, 7 park series, over 200 videos, over 2.5 million views across the channel, and nearly 18,000 subscribers, I could not be happier with where we are now. I got to meet loads of amazing people, make loads of new friends, and add to this little community, and I'm so happy to be a part of it. And now we're at the end of Planet Coaster 1. Planet Coaster 2 is just around the corner and releasing this week. So I wanted to make a recap of my time with this game and go through everything I've done over the past 3 and a bit years. After my videos of making a few different coasters went really well, I started experimenting with this incredible game on console. I made a few coasters and even a few tutorials, and then even my first ever vlog. After really having fun with the game and making a few more concepts for rides that I thought were realistic at the time, I then eventually wanted to start my own park series, and the main content format of my channel had begun. Dream Park was the beginning of my park creating journey. I'd only been playing the game since its release on console, so it was a good practice park for me to better help understand how the game worked. Looking back, there were areas that I liked, but for me the park layout made no sense and the coasters weren't really realistic either. But it did solidify my enjoyment for theming and made me realise how much terrain was important, and it also saw the creation of my famous concrete land. Then I really started experimenting with my coasters, making more varied layouts, ride models and ride features, which is when my original drop track and drop track tutorial videos dropped. These videos performed incredibly well and it really made me consider the potential of this channel. Then, with over 100 subscribers, I was so excited to continue. After this, I started work on another park series. Armed with these improved coaster skills, I wanted to try and tackle somewhat decent theming. The Western theme was something I was always interested in, especially recently, so I decided that it would be the main theme basis for my park. With little infrastructure and a lot of coasters, my second park was born. I did really enjoy this one. It let me be a lot more creative with my new coaster skills and really pushed me to make the coasters bigger and better than ever. I put terrain at the forefront of this park layout, maybe a little bit too much, but the coasters were my best yet, and it was only just the beginning of my love for realism, theming and rides. Ending this series with 1,500 subscribers, I was blown away by how much support I was getting. After a few more tutorials, more coasters and a lot more time to understand the game, I started on my third park. Set in a much more realistic setting and pushing my terrain building to the next level, Peak Park began. This park really pushed me to understand park layout and ride realism, all of which I learned about through making things that didn't work at first. This park also taught me a lot about what it takes to build a better park, and I took this knowledge into my next projects. The coasters again were much better than the last ones, getting crazier but more realistic as time went on. I really saw the main thing that was lacking in my parks was infrastructure. This park was basic, but the coasters were cool and I liked the fact that it was in a valley, and I knew that more needed to change in the next one to make it even better. I also hit 2k during this time and launched my first proper coaster competition, which was so fun and has now become a staple of my channel and this community that we've built. It was so fun to see so many exciting creations, and it really put into perspective how incredible this community was that I was now firmly a part of. Then, after a load more coaster videos exploring loads of different types of coasters in the game, where I was really trying to get an understanding of profiling and realism, a couple of UK vlogs and then all of my Orlando trip vlogs, and even a Western themed mini park which I absolutely loved, and I even hit 2,500 subscribers. This trip really helped me understand park design and really inspired me to build all these huge coasters in a warm tropical environment. I was beyond excited and wanted to keep going with all this new energy. Adventura Italia was the culmination of my console portfolio. This park was my biggest, most detailed and contained my most realistic rides and daring coasters. I really enjoyed this project. The coasters were huge and I even did a decent amount of custom supported as well for the first time, and I really tried to obtain that tropical park theme. There were a lot more buildings and coasters in this park than I'd ever done before, and it was a really fitting end to the first part of my YouTube journey. Towards the end of this park series, I purchased my first ever PC. I knew this would be a big departure from my current content and I was quite nervous to break the news that I would be leaving console. It was a small community I've made a lot of friends through, but broader horizons waited and I knew I had to take the chance. But in this, I knew that I wanted to help bridge the gap between console and PC as much as I could. With over 3,000 of you now subscribed, I knew my first PC project had to be great, so I set to work to tackle the new controls and comprehend all the new possibilities available to me with mods and TMTK. With purchasing a PC purely for YouTube, I was all in with the goal of developing this channel as far as I could. I started with a new burst of higher quality content and I haven't looked back since. With the launch of my channel memberships, I gave this group of amazing people small previews of my first PC park as it developed. Then with the feedback being great, it gave me so much confidence to finally release this project. Wonderworld launched and it was instantly my most successful YouTube series at this point. With each video I was blown away by the support every time. Loads more creators started to notice my work too, ones that I'd been watching for years prior to me even starting this channel, and they started to comment and chat with me, which I honestly found unreal. During this time I was also part of an incredible collaboration project which again taught me a lot about park design and realism from this very experienced creator. All this while my current park series soared in its reception until the finale and park tour. This park saw some really unique coasters, some really unique storytelling, and a park that actually had a timeline where different areas were being constructed at varying points through the park's history. Again, this was me really trying to think about how realism works more in my parks. Ending this series with 5,000 subscribers, I knew the next one had to be my best work yet, and I wanted to make sure it was. I launched a competition at this milestone, and I also RMC'd Wonderworld's wooden coaster, which was really fun. This competition was great and saw lots of creators from all platforms come together to make some really beautiful work. Then I had the honour of showcasing them to everybody afterwards. I then did a lot more vlogs, coaster videos and tutorials too. I also debuted a series of challenge videos which I will definitely be returning to in Planet Coaster 2 because they were really fun. Also during some of these vlogs I finally put a face to the channel, which really boosted my confidence with making these projects. I even met some friends along the way until yet another competition happened when I hit 7.5 thousand subscribers. This launch coaster challenge was a fantastic project to be a part of. After Wonderworld, my next park series has been heavily speculated over in my Discord server, with people asking what it would be literally the second the park tour finished. 11 months later, Voyager's Adventure was released. I wanted this park to be entirely complete before releasing all the episodes, which meant a long stretch in between content, and I really didn't enjoy that. I thought once this park series was completed, then I could start releasing the episodes, and then I'd have more free time to do other things. But this just meant that it ate up so much of my time in the present of me building the park series, it really let the content down on the channel, and I just didn't upload much. But when this park series did launch, it was a huge success and became my most watched work ever up until this point. It contained some of my best coasters and best theming yet, and taught me the most about theme park design than any other project had before. Every coaster was custom supported, they were all 4 meters smooth and each more themed than I'd ever themed an attraction before. During this series, I held my 10k dueling coasters competition, which was my favourite competition yet. There were some incredible entries to this and I really enjoyed showcasing them all. I also travelled absolutely loads and produced my highest quality vlogs yet. I visited loads of parks all across the UK and Europe, and my top 10 coasters list changed dramatically. I had such a fun time on these adventures with my friends and I cannot wait to get back out there and do even more vlogs in the future. And I was ready to get back into Planet Coaster. But I finally knew I had to change my tactic, not only to keep things fresh, but most importantly to save my sanity after how much I was drained from creating Voyager's Adventure the way I did. There were multiple things that held me back while creating that park, and I knew that to make one better than it, I'd have to completely change my approach to my creative process. I knew that I had to do it purely for enjoyment and not to meet a deadline. Also, with hitting 10k subs, I felt a new sense of responsibility for absolutely nailing this next project. My style, output and method had to change behind how I made content for me to continue and grow my audience even more. I decided on a mini park series, which didn't really end up as a small park, where episodes would not release weekly, but when they were finished instead. With over 13,000 subscribers, I went into my next park ready to deliver not only my best work yet in park quality, but also in video production. Then, with the knowledge that this would be my last park in Planet Coaster 1, pretty early on into the build, I wanted to make an impact and this park series to be one to remember. So I finally launched it after a month of anticipation and it was a hit. You all absolutely loved it, and it was by far my favourite thing I've ever made in this game. During this time, I also had to keep the big secret that Planet Coaster 2 was actually real. It was amazing to be chosen by Frontier to be part of their creative program, and I truly felt like I'd made it. Then, with the completion of my most popular park series to date, loads of Planet Coaster 2 analysis videos, the Abandoned and Unfinished series where I showed you work that didn't get finished because of the imminent launch of Planet Coaster 2, and with a lot more of you joining me, here we are now. I've been playing Planet Coaster 2 for over a week, and it comes out tomorrow. There are currently nearly 18,000 of you subscribed, and I'm sure a lot more people excited about this game. If you're new to my channel, that about sums up everything I've done so far in Planet Coaster 1. And there is going to be so much more content coming for Planet Coaster 2, so please subscribe if that's something you're going to be interested in. 2024 has been my biggest year so far for the channel. It's been absolutely crazy, and I'm sure with the launch of Planet Coaster 2 and going into 2025, it's going to be an even better year. I have a very small Vikings themed park coming soon where I'm exploring all of the new aspects of this game. Episodes for that will start to drop very shortly. Then after that, there is going to be a lot more Planet Coaster 2 content on the way. My challenge series will be coming back. I have two very different full park series that will be running simultaneously on the channel, and I'm sure that there'll be all sorts of tutorials and vlogs that will be coming out in the meantime too. So like I said, if you haven't already, please do subscribe. If we can get to 20k by the end of the year, that would be absolutely insane. My normal upload time of Saturday at 8 PM UK time isn't changing anytime soon, so if you don't want to miss a post, then turn on the notification bell. I've had so much fun playing Planet Coaster 1 over these past 3.5 years, and it very quickly became my favourite game ever. Let's see if Planet Coaster 2 can beat that. I really can't wait for the launch of this game to see all of the amazing things you're all going to create. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in Planet Coaster 2.